As we've already discussed, incremental innovation tends to help existing players in the market improve their position with customers or users by reducing costs or adding features. As a consequence, incremental innovation requires few changes in customer or user behaviors or in the form of the product or the way a company does business. For example, when Apple comes out with a new iPhone, it's usually designed to address the same market demographic, that is the type of users and their location, as the older iPhone models. As a result, neither iPhone users or Apple have to change how they promote their product and how they deliver it to customers. The lack of change simply reinforces existing company business models and existing user behaviors. This explains why incremental innovation favors the incumbent. The incumbent is the existing player in the marketplace. In contrast, disruptive innovation is innovation that changes customer or user behaviors, and often how suppliers offer this new value in the marketplace. This is because, by definition, disruptive innovation offers new levels of performance that offer significant advantages over current solutions, or provide a solution for a previously undeserved need. This often means that disruption changes customer behaviors, either by attracting new types of customers or persuading existing customers to change what they're buying and/or how they use it. In many cases, this can require a new approach to the market. For example, through a new business model. Xerox's success was built on moving from selling a photocopying machine to one of providing a copying service, where users paid a few cents a copy, even though the machine was located on their site.
Southwest created a unique business model in the airline business, right? The low-cost carrier airline business, and it has the characteristics that many of us are deeply familiar with. With these very early stage businesses, seed financing, good people, great ideas, all the things that you're supposed to do. And they had precisely the kind of experience that you would expect, which is that some succeeded and many didn't.
Incumbents often don't see these new markets, either because they have a limited view of the market, or because the new product will take business away from their existing business. Think about how Netflix took on Blockbuster. In addition, organizations build the infrastructure or capability to deliver on an existing business model, and are reluctant to change because of their existing investment, or because their infrastructure is their previous competitive advantage. Think about Amazon versus Barnes & Noble, Zellers. Another problem that makes it difficult to change business models is the concern that offering an alternate business model will adversely affect current business in the short term. Think Hotmail, a free email service, and AOL, a service that charged for email. As a result, disruptive innovation is often commercialized through a new venture or by an enterprise that's not currently in that market. Apple were the guys that pioneered downloadable music, not a music company. Successful organizations that disrupt are usually willing to take greater risks, have a better understanding of customer needs, and are not limited by existing customers, resources, or business models. This explains why disruptive innovations often come to the market through entrepreneurial ventures, despite those ventures' initial lack of resources.
Although this class is not focused exclusively on entrepreneurship, it turns out that most modern perspectives argue that entrepreneurship and innovation are nearly synonymous. Whether you want to be a high-growth entrepreneur, a lifestyle entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that makes a positive social or environmental impact, or a corporate entrepreneur and innovator, creativity and innovation are critical to your success in these endeavors.
Perhaps the best example of disruptive innovation, predicted by the model originally developed by Clayton Christensen, is Airbnb, which offers interesting insights into innovation and the role of disruption. Let me start with a short history of Airbnb. In October 2007, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia could not afford the rent for their loft in San Francisco, and were also aware of the challenges of finding accommodation in San Francisco during an important trade show. They turned their living room into a bed and breakfast, accommodating 3 guests on air mattresses and providing a homemade breakfast. Airbnb, B&B short for bed and breakfast, was launched, and with help from investor accelerator Y Combinator, expanded from airbeds and shared spaces on a floor to a variety of properties, including entire homes, apartments, private rooms, castles, boats, manors, tree houses, teepees, igloos, private islands, and many other properties. The company, which is still private, is now valued at over $30 billion, with global offices in 16 countries and no property of their own. Airbnb is a classic example of disruption, which disrupted the hospitality industry by serving underserved customers rather than traditional hotel companies. It created a new market that provides more beds per night than any hotel chain. Importantly, at least for hotel companies, Airbnb is now moving aggressively into the business market, where it will directly challenge traditional hotel companies. Interestingly, to date, and as predicted by disruption theory, hotel chains have yet to respond to this competitive threat. The examples given, such as Netflix, Xerox, and Airbnb, help illustrate why disruptive approaches often lead to the creation of new ventures. Understanding incremental and disruptive innovation helps explain the creation of new ventures. But what motivates an individual to be the entrepreneur who creates this new venture? There are almost as many reasons as there are entrepreneurs. But based on my research, the top reasons in reverse order are: number 5, as an entrepreneur, you can constantly push the envelope and satisfy your curiosity. There are no boundaries. You can create, invent, and disrupt with your only limit being your curiosity and your creativity. Number 4, as an entrepreneur, you take charge of your personal growth and experiences, and you'll never be bored. There's always something to do, and you'll always be doing more than just having a long to-do list. Every day presents new challenges, new opportunities, and new things to keep you on your toes. Number 3, as an entrepreneur, you'll have full control over your destiny. You call the shots and make the decisions that ultimately determine the success or failure of your business. This is sometimes known as the desire for independence, having control of your own time and what you do. It's often said that entrepreneurs are individuals who could not get a job working for someone else. Number 2, as an entrepreneur, you can see how you can contribute to society by introducing a service or product that people use, by employing people doing meaningful jobs, and by creating wealth for those who've invested in you. This can also be linked to personal rewards, either in the form of financial rewards or in the form of recognition. And finally, the number 1 reason for becoming an entrepreneur is that as an entrepreneur, you can dream big and have the potential to create a legacy, creating a successful business or brand to the point where it leaves a personal legacy behind, creating meaning. This serves as motivation to others, especially other entrepreneurs. This is often called the need for achievement, whereby you have a high degree of responsibility for and control over outcomes. As you can see, these are all psychological aspects of entrepreneurship, and you might want to think about whether you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. To find out more, you might want to try the self-assessment tool that's linked to on the website,